I'd like to add my acknowledgement of the traditional owners of this place and their elders past and present, and indeed emerging, as they surely are. We have tremendous treasure that has, I think, been recognised and saved in time. And I think as Tasmanians we have a great deal of optimism. We should have a great deal of optimism about what lies ahead for us. The Reconciliation Council of Tasmania was launched 6 months ago by Her Excellency, thank you again, and the Premier. And since then we've formed a board and we've had a couple of board meetings. We've formed a group in the north, the south and the northwest. And we've embarked upon a pretty ambitious set of activities for 2018, so you'll hear more about us. I'd just like to take a short time to encourage people to get involved with us. Reconciliation can mean many things to many people, but it surely means coming together. And there's been a lot said here today of how and why we should come together. So certainly that is our task. We're the last state in Australia to have a Reconciliation Council. We join all the other states with the Australian Reconciliation Network under the auspices of the peak body Reconciliation Australia, based in Canberra. And so we are now part of a national move towards reconciliation. So for us in Tasmania, it is our task to work out how we might do that for ourselves. Been a couple of references earlier on today about people being proud, Tasmanian Aboriginal people being proud and willing to declare their Aboriginality. And I think that's one of the real keys, that more and more Tasmanian Aboriginal people are coming out and saying, yes, I'm a black fella and I'm proud of it. That gives us all, as non-Aboriginal people, the opportunity to build relationship with them, because we've got to know who they are if we're going to do that. And when I reflect on that, I find myself really, sorry, you get old, you get emotional, but anyway, I realise how privileged I am to call Rodney Dillon a good friend. And I listen to you, Rodney, and I listen to you talk, and I hear the wisdom and the truth and the sincerity in so much that you say. I'll share a little story with you, two little brief stories with you about my relationship with Rodney and how that's important to me in terms of reconciliation. Rodney was at our place in Belrive for a barbecue lunch one day, and Rodney and I went for a walk along Belrive Beach together. And I've lived in Belrive now 22 years, and I walk the dog along the beach every day, or I used to. I need to get back to that. And we're walking along the beach, and Rodney stops and picks up a scallop shell. And he says, oh, there must be scallops out there. And because the edges of the shell were sharp and not worn, he said, they're not far out there either. And I said, Rodney, I've walked up and down this beach for so long, I've seen so many scallop shells, I've never thought scallop shell, scallops, tucker. Rodney said, well, do you think some blokes just put it there to throw you off the scent or something? And I have to admit, I tell that story against myself because that really illustrates a difference, doesn't it, in the way we think. And Rodney illustrated his Aboriginality in the way he interpreted that shell, and I illustrated my lack of it by the fact that I just, I look, but do I see? The second story I'd like to share with you is that for many, many years now, my wife and I have had a barbecue on Australia Day on the 26th of January. And Rodney used to come along. And about 5 years ago, when I invited Rodney to come to our barbecue, he said, mate, I don't think I can come. I feel so uncomfortable. I've been in previous years, but I hope you have a good day, but thanks, but no thanks. And I thought, what's that about? That was only a few years ago. What's that about? And that's the first time I hit it. And I thought, I can understand that. It doesn't take much intellect to work out that that's not going to make him happy. And so we changed the barbecue day. We have that on the closest Saturday to Australia Day. This year was our second year of doing that. And we'll keep doing that. And of all our friends, we only had one pushback. And after I explained it more thoroughly to this good friend that did push back, he said, okay, I'll get it. I mean, these are not big things, but they are very, very significant things. So I share those two stories with you about my own journey and commitment to reconciliation. I took Fred Chaney's seat on the Board of Reconciliation Australia in February 15, and I am part of the reconciliation movement, and proudly so, throughout Australia, but I'm particularly optimistic about what we can do here in Tasmania. We have a blank canvas. We have much opportunity to do some wonderful things, and I invite people to join us. Membership is free. There's two levels of membership. There's an active membership level and a passive. Passive means I'm very busy, haven't got time to do stuff, but want to know what's going on. Active means that, active. We now have 17 active volunteers and 102 members. rectas.com.au, click on the Express Interest button and you'll hear from us. We welcome all Tasmanians to get involved in what I think is going to be a wonderfully positive ride.